down below Owensboro, Kentucky. Glad to have everybody on board tonight. This is Thursday, and this is January 25th. Can you believe it? January 25th, 2024, and we are still here. The trumpet has not sounded yet. The dead in Christ have not risen, and we which are alive and remain have not yet been caught up. But that day is coming, and it's coming soon. All right, we got a very interesting topic for tonight. Is civil war coming to America? I mean, is it just around the corner? I mean, is it coming? Is it here? I'm going to share a story with you briefly, um, and I think you'll find some thought-provoking things here. So we'll give this just 30 seconds more or so for the folks to get on. And I'm sure there's many that are yet to click and get on with us. So give it just a second. Those of you that are on, you may want to hit that share button or the like button and help get this out there. Joy is listening in from Alabama, and Alana is listening in. She is in Iowa. We have not seen you in a while, Miss Alana. You've been playing hooky on us here. And all right, we are on YouTube as well, just so you know. We're on Facebook Live and YouTube Live. The YouTube is better quality, of course, and I have the headset for the phone, so it's good audio. I don't know how the audio is on the iPad, but I'm sure nobody usually complains, so it must be okay. All right, just a quick update as to what's going on with the family here. I don't think I got it posted for you on Spotlight, but my daughter, who answers the phone most of the time, her name is Esther. She's the one you get on the phone usually when you call the 888 number. She was in her third day working at the Christian school right here locally, and teaching a kindergarten class, and she was in her third day. They went out the back door with the classes, and it was wet. She slipped on the ramp. She broke her leg and broke it bad. Got her to the hospital. This was Tuesday. The surgery was Wednesday around 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and she got home today sometime this afternoon about 3 o'clock. She's still in a lot of pain. She's on pain meds, and she's going to be laid up a while. So please continue to pray for her. And they put a titanium rod in her leg. She has no cast, but she is in some pain. It's going to take a few days for her to get past some of that. And so be thinking of her. And don't worry, the 800 number is still good. You can call. And if you want to order something or donate, or you need to get a hold of me, nothing changes. My wife is the next person in the chain there. If Esther doesn't get it, it goes to my wife's phone. If she doesn't get it, it gets to my phone. And so we are still here for you. So don't worry about that. Okay. And we're asking you to pray about or consider. We'd like to get an RV, preferably one with a slide out, but it doesn't have to have. We need another studio to have here on my property for these live streams and other things that we're going to be doing. And an RV is so much better than building a little building. Everything's already there. It's got heat, light, electric, everything. Air conditioning, it's already there. You just plug the thing in. It would be very convenient. So if anybody has one that you feel like you don't need anymore and you'd like to donate that to Protestant Spotlight, we would like to talk to you. It could be a motorized one or a pull behind, or so let me know or if you just want to throw some money our way and say, Brother Good, this is for the studio you want to build, an RV or something. And if you want to throw some money our way, we'll put it in a special account and hold it for that. Okay, well, let's get the show going here. And So several of you are telling me you're not getting alerts. Now we found that out Monday, we had one of the fewest people viewing that I've seen in a long time on Spotlight. All I can figure is maybe Facebook is censoring me a bit here, or shadow banning, whatever you call it. I do not know, but we got a pretty good crowd over there on YouTube, and but we don't even have half that on Facebook. I don't know why. I don't know why everybody is what's going on with the notifications, but I could use a fifth wheel. I'm not. My pickup truck does not have the fifth wheel, but that doesn't mean that I couldn't make something happen. So if someone has a fifth wheel camper and you want to donate that, I will probably I'll find a way. That's if it's we if the door opens, we'll try to have somebody go get it for us or something. Or I could have a fifth wheel put in my pickup, and I've hauled all these. We were full timers for like 5 years. My wife, my whole family, we lived in RVs, so I've had them all. I've had fifth wheels, pull behinds, Class A. I have not had the Class C. We were considering getting one of them, but we lived in these things. So all right, so let's move on here. And okay, so I want to read you something here, and if I can get my mouse up there and find what I need. There it is, right here. All right, I have a story up. This is on the Gateway Pundit, and this is today. In fact, this is 7:30 tonight. This story just came out. Update: 25 states now stand with Texas Governor Greg Abbott. Not only do they say they're standing with him, they've signed a letter supporting Texas, their constitutional right to self-defense. And last time I checked, that's half the country. That's 50% of the states in the union have signed a letter of support, and many of them states, I think there's like 13 states that are going to send National Guard to the Texas border. Greg Abbott put out a letter stating that he will not abide by the Supreme Court's decision, and that they are going to continue barbed wire and continue keeping the border closed. And I say amen to that. So have you heard of this? Have you heard the story? Now, some of you don't fully understand what the Supreme Court did. Let me just, and I don't know it all, but I know a little bit of it. Let me try to help you here. Here's what the Supreme Court did. The Greg Abbott's state, they were putting up barbed wire. In fact, they threw the feds out. They told them to get out, and they said we're gonna take care of the border ourselves. And they did. They kicked the Fed out. And talking about the Border Patrol and all that, the feds kicked them out and began bringing in their own National Guard, and they sealed it. They put barbed wire there. And by the way, the last camera shots I saw, there wasn't a soul on the other side. Nobody headed toward that barbed wire. It worked. They sealed the border. Biden got upset about it, and his Justice Department filed suit and demanded that they remove the barbed wire and let the feds back in. Abbott's people said nope. They took it into the courts. I believe I don't know how many courts it went to, but one of the court systems sided with Texas and said nope. They have a right to defend the country. Well, it went to the Supreme Court of the United States. Okay, and a decision was just made. In fact, I think it was Monday. Don't hold me that, but it may have been Monday, and it was 5-4. The Supreme Court. Now, here's what happened. Here's what a lot of you don't understand. This was not a full-fledged hearing because they didn't even hear both sides. What the Supreme Court did was they reversed the lower court's ruling until they can have both sides come and present evidence and have oral arguments and all that. And that vote, the vote of the Supreme Court to do that, was a 5-4 decision. All three women voted along with Justice Roberts. Maybe the other woman, I don't know. But Amy Coney Barrett, remember the big thing Donald Trump put her in? Remember all that big scandal there? She voted with the four liberals, the three liberals and Roberts, which Roberts, we don't know what's up with Roberts. Now, to be fair, they weren't saying that Texas didn't have a right. They were saying, let's undo what you just did until the court can hear this. But we think that that's wrong. And so do 25 states in the union. They believe that was the wrong decision. They believe the court should have left it as it was and let Texas defend itself until oral arguments can be heard and then make a decision, instead of siding with Biden and telling them to tear the fence down, the barbed wire, and allow thugs to come in the country. Well, Abbott is saying, I will not submit to this. And 25 now other states have agreed with him. And I think at least 13 states are sending National Guard there. So I want you to think about this for a minute, what this could mean to America and maybe the world. Civil war could be at the doorstep. And by the way, let me say that I'm not against civil war. I've got opinions about the 1861 Civil War. You got to remember, the one who won writes the history books. And that's why we don't have the true history of the 1861 Civil War. We've got what the winning team put in the history books. But we won't get into that tonight. I've got strong opinions about which side had the godly people and which side was in the right. By the way, the Civil War had nothing to do with slavery. Nothing. That was used by Lincoln and the North to get people on his side, just like they do today. It's no different today. Politics and people do things to get the favor of the people on their side, and they twist things. And so I will say this: the great men of the Civil War were in the South. I'm talking about the General Lee, Robert E. Lee. I'm talking about Stonewall Jackson, great Christian men. And but anyway, so here's what could happen. And you can go to Gateway Pundit and see the story here. It just come out just 7:30 tonight, January 25th. Let me read a little bit of this. In a significant escalation of tensions over the U.S.-Mexico border policies, several Republican governors are uniting in support of Texas Governor Greg Abbott's challenge against the Biden regime. This move comes in the wake of the U.S. Supreme Court's decision allowing the removal of razor wire installed by Texas at the border. By the way, they're all talking in Congress. They're all fighting over a new bill for the border. They're accusing the Republicans of standing in the way of the greatest securing of the border in history. Of course, we haven't seen it. We haven't seen the writing. We don't know what's in that bill yet. They lie. Biden's acting like I've got a way to secure the border. All Biden has to do is snap his fingers. All he's got to do is make an announcement and the border would be sealed immediately. He doesn't need Congress to rule. We already have laws on the books. We already have immigration law. We don't need Congress to make a new law. So it's all a lie. It's all to get votes. It's all to get people on your side. And these people lie. By the way, the Republicans do it too, some of them. And more some of them than we'd like to admit. So I want to remind you, Mitt Romney's a Republican. And Mitch McConnell, my senator here in Kentucky, he's a Republican. Those are rats. Those guys they're rhinos. And you can't believe half of what they say. Governor Abbott deployed approximately 30 miles of razor wire near Eagle Pass, Texas, as a barrier against illegal immigration. However, this move was challenged in court, leading to a complex legal battle. Despite setbacks in the lower courts, the state's efforts were momentarily buoyed by a decision from the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals, which was overturned at the Supreme Court by a 5-4 vote. Amy Coney Barrett was the tiebreaker. The three liberals and Roberts, and then Amy Barrett came in. Whether that's what she agrees with, or she was bribed, or she's afraid for her life or her family, I don't know. But she voted against the Constitution. The states have a right to defend themselves. Abbott should have done this a couple of years ago. Should have declared an emergency, called in the National Guard, sealed the border. I don't know why it took 3 years and 6 to 10 million people before we did this. Despite the Supreme Court's decision, Texas officials, including Governor Abbott and Attorney General Ken Paxton, have expressed their intent to continue measures to reinforce the border. Texas National Guard members began installing more razor wire in Eagle Pass. The Supreme Court's temporary order allows Biden to continue his illegal effort to aid the foreign invasion of America, said Attorney General Paxton. The destruction of Texas borders barriers will not help enforce the law or keep American citizens safe. This fight is not over, and I look forward to defending our state's sovereignty, he added. Governor Abbott, in a fiery statement, lambasted Joe Biden for failing to enforce immigration laws and thereby violating his oath of office. He then declared an invasion under Article 1 and 10, Clause 3, asserting Texas's right to self-defense. The Texas response has drawn backing from several other Republican-led states, fueling a growing standoff between state and federal authority. This is exactly what happened in 1861. And eventually led to Fort Sumter. And by the way, who fired the first shot in the Civil War? Does anybody know? I have that answer. Does anybody out there know? Who fired the first shot in 1861 that began what we call the Civil War? I call it the War of Northern Aggression, but the Civil War. If you've got an answer to that on YouTube or here on Facebook, why don't somebody give me that? And because I believe the same shot from the same side is getting ready to come, possibly in this battle. And I'd like to know what you all think. That's the story. 25 states now standing in solidarity with Texas, protecting the international border. Here they are, by the way. Alaska's there. Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, Ohio, Indiana, Vermont. That's the only one up north is Vermont. No, that's not. I'm sorry, that's not Vermont. That's New Hampshire. Okay, New Hampshire. The rest of the states up there, including New Jersey, Pennsylvania, New York, all of them, they're all Maine, Connecticut. They're all wackos. We got Missouri, Iowa, Nebraska, South Dakota, North Dakota, Montana, Wyoming, Idaho, Nevada, Utah. All those states, 25 of them, have stood with Texas. Now, I don't know if Texas is the 25th or if there's 25 plus Texas. That would be interesting. And so you say, well, Brother Good, with all these states, they wouldn't dare attack. They did in 1861. By the way, anybody answer my question yet? Who fired the first shot in 1861, the Civil War? Nobody has answered yet. Has anybody got that? All right, Joy says she did get a notification for the Facebook Live tonight. Anybody? Who fired the first shot in 1861 to begin the war between the states in 1861? Has anybody got that? My daughter Sarah knows, but she's not watching tonight. She knows that answer, and you should know that answer too. And you should even know where it happened. It's a very important thing. Doug, St. Louis, you're in Texas, buddy. You better get your ammunition ready, Mr. Doug. Hey, by the way, Doug, you're a truck driver. Did you hear about the convoy coming? It's coming in just a few days, I think they said, the 29th, something like that. They're going to do a 2 or 3 day trucking convoy down there. In fact, they're going to the very place. Um, what was the name of that place down there? I read it a second ago. What was it? I lost it. Where was that? What was the name of that town where they started the fence? It's here. I'm probably looking right at it, trying to find it. What was the name of that town? Shit. And I read it. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Um, Doug, check it out. There's a bunch of truckers getting together. They're forming a big convoy. They're going down there to shut everything down to show their protest against the illegal immigration going on. That could be, they're kind of doing what Canada did. So that's coming. Okay. I don't know what happened on YouTube. I'm sorry about that. It stopped. I hit reconnect. I don't know what that is, but we'll keep on going here. So look into that. That's interesting. But here's the thing, and I won't keep you too long tonight. Let me just. What do you think of this? And by the way, nobody's answered my question yet. Who fired the first shot of the Civil War? Nobody has answered. I guess I'll have to help y'all. It's possible that YouTube has answered, but I don't. I can't see those. So if anyone's answer on YouTube, I apologize. I cannot read them. I'm too far away from the camera. I can't see it. So, but let me go ahead and Miss Kippy answered. Where is it, Miss Kippy? Let me go back. Miss Kippy or Frank, you are right, Miss Kippy or Brother Frank. Whoever is that, Kippy or Brother Frank? Who's smarter? Miss Kippy's the school teacher. So I don't know if it's Miss Kippy or Brother Frank there in Pennsylvania, but you're absolutely right. It was the North. It was Lincoln's troops who were holed up in Fort Sumter in South Carolina. They wouldn't leave. The South begged them. They even offered to send money and buy the property, give them money to make them leave. They didn't want to fight. But finally, as the ship was coming down the river to reinforce the troops, the South gave them an ultimatum: you get out by this time, or we're going to fire upon your fort. And they did. And so the North started the war, and the South was defending their property. They had seceded from the Union. And you can argue all you want. Well, it's not legal. Well, we seceded from Great Britain in 1776, as I recall. I don't care if it's legal or not. A people get together and say, we will not be in bondage anymore. We're breaking these chains, and we are no longer going to be part of you. And if you don't like that, you'll just have to come and we'll have a fight, which they did, and which we did in 1861, and which very possibly is coming again to a town near you. Doug, you better get your fatigues ready, and you better get your backpack and your blankets and ammunition. You better get ready. It may be coming. And now listen to what I'm saying now. Could it be that the Biden administration wants this? Could it be, that thing sure gets bright, doesn't it? Could it be that the Biden administration, remember, they need something. There's no way this guy can win in a fair election, an election that's not rigged. There's no way that man can win. He didn't win in 2020. I promise you, he didn't win. They rigged it. They stole it. I mean, everybody knows. You'd have to be an idiot to not know that. And there's so much evidence. You say, well, but it's been in the courts, and they've all said it has not been in any court. Nobody would hear it. And more and more proofs coming out all the time about what happened. I mean, they shut down the counting of ballots, for goodness sakes, in the evening, and then they're counting ballots in the middle of the night with nobody watching them, bringing in truckloads of ballots. scam, nothing but fraud. So listen, they can't win the election. The man can't even get out of bed. The man don't even know who he is half the time. He cannot win this election. They need another event like they had in 2020 with the shutdowns and the mail-in ballots and being able to break the law, or they say, well, because of this pandemic, we're going to allow people to just mail the ballots in, and it broke all the rules, broke all the laws because of a so-called pandemic. They need something like that again. If the feds attack and something breaks out, civil war could happen. There'll be an uprising in this nation, and they could use that to declare martial law. They got the firepower, I mean, they can blow stuff up. The feds got it. This could get nasty. This could bring martial law. This could end the election, and there wouldn't be an election in 2024. Now, am I saying because of that threat, should we not do what's right? No, we should do what's right. I believe Texas should do what's right. I believe these other states should join. I'm just saying it's almost deja vu here. It's almost deja vu. We're going down the same road we did in 1861. Could civil war break out? If civil war breaks out and several states start joining Texas and say, look, we're done. We're done with the federal government. We're all going to join together. We're going to have a constitutional conference. We're going to have a meeting, and the 25 states are going to gather, and we're going to set up our own constitution. We're breaking away from the federal government. And by the way, I'd be all for that. I don't believe America can be fixed. I think the deep state is so bad, so big, so infested. I don't believe we can save it. I don't believe even a Donald Trump can save it, but who knows? But I don't believe that they let us go. I believe it would bring attacks. I believe it would bring war. Look, they've already said, Hillary Clinton's already said all the MAGA people got to be reprogrammed. They've got justification. They believe that we staged an insurrection on January 6th. Remember, 2021. They've been calling that an insurrection, shoving it down our throat. That was not an insurrection. That was not even close to an insurrection. But they have told the world, they have told America, all the news media, insurrection, MAGA, MAGA, MAGA. We're bad people. They've got it drilled into their heads and into the heads of the liberal-minded people that there's a cancer, and that cancer is us. So, just a heads up for you tonight. We know they need something to save them from the coming election. And boy, this looks like it could be used. What do you think? So tell me, what do you think? Make a comment, share your thoughts. Tell me what you think. Could this lead to that? Tell me what you think. Is Governor Abbott doing the right thing? Are the 25 states joining him? Are we in the right here? Should we just give in, let the federal government tear the wall down and bring another 500,000 people across the border to ravage and rape and kill and murder and or should the states stand up and protect ourselves? What do you think? And tell me what you think. Could there be a civil war coming? Tell me what you think. Is this what the left wants? Are they hoping for a battle to break out? I mean, a gun battle, and people die. Are they wanting that to declare martial law and take over the country and begin arresting all the MAGA people? They have encampments, by the way, already. They built them for somebody. They built them for somebody. And now some of you are thinking, "Oh, this is too far out, Brother Goodwin." That's what the Jews said back in the 30s. Oh, it'll never happen in our country. This will never happen here. Hitler wouldn't dare. And yet it did. And the Civil War. You might have thought, well, the North, our country, our president would never bomb us. They'd never attack us. Abraham Lincoln called after Fort Sumter fell. And by the way, nobody died in that battle. I think one man died by accident. I don't remember which side he was on. There was an accidental gun go off or something. One man was shot. I think he died. I can't remember. My daughter would know, Sarah, but one guy was killed. I think it was accidental. And Abraham Lincoln called for 75,000 troops. And guess who he called to lead his armies? Robert E. Lee from Virginia. Asked him, the Department of Defense called Lee in and told him the president wants you to lead the armies. Robert E. Lee said, tell the president, thank you, but no. You can tell the president also that I was very disappointed he called up 75,000 troops to attack his countrymen, our fellow citizens. And he walked out and he stood with Virginia. One of the greatest, if not the greatest general ever to live in America. Great man, great Christian man. And but the victor writes the history books, and the South has been made out to be some wicked, evil people. Not true at all. Not true at all. You gotta read and study for yourself what happened. So, so let me hear some comments from you. I'd like to hear your opinion on this. Could a civil war break out? And if it does, is it on purpose? Does Mr. Biden's administration, is this what they want? Will this bring about a bigger purpose for them and save their necks? I don't know. I'm speculating here. Because of that, should Texas and the 25 states, should they back down, knowing that he may use this, or is it right to do right even if it can go against you? Give me your comments. I want you to do some thinking on this. Think about what we're talking about tonight. Think about what this could bring. Could the South win? Could the red states against the blue states, could the red states win? The problem is, and this is a problem started by the Civil War in 1861, when the North won in 1865 and then Abraham Lincoln was assassinated. He was not a very liked man by either side, by the way. You won't read that in your history books. Abraham Lincoln was not even liked by his own party. They didn't like him. It wasn't until he was assassinated he became a martyr and became the great hero that everybody talks about and everybody's favorite president. Not mine, but and so had he not been assassinated, everything would have been different after the war. But once he was assassinated, I mean, they just destroyed the South. The carpetbaggers, you heard about the carpetbaggers, and they just went and abused the South. And so there's a lot of history that you're not taught in public school, and you don't see it in most movies. In most movies, the South is the bad guys, and so the South did not start the war. The North started the war, and Abraham Lincoln started the war. And anyway, the problem that came after 1865 was that the federal government, which was already getting quite powerful, the federal government achieved even more power after the Civil War ended, and more power left the states and went to the federal government. And that's where we are today, and that's a huge problem. And now we've got these agencies, all these three-digit agencies, CIA, FBI, monitor, all these three-digit things. And by the way, they're spying on everybody. It's against the law. It's against the law. They're spying on all of us. They're listening to everything. It's against the law. The federal government be hard to beat. It would be hard for the state. The states don't have what the federal government has. The states don't control the Navy and the Air Force. I mean, we got National Guards and militias and stuff, but we're heavily outmatched here. And I'm not saying that the tide couldn't turn, but so I just want to know what you think, and like to hear some of your thoughts on all this, and we'll see where this leads. All right, good crowd on Facebook. Let me sign off here on YouTube. Don't forget, if you have an RV, it can be motorized, Class C, Class A, pull behind, doesn't matter. Preferably with a slide up. It doesn't have to be. We need something to set up here for a studio, so that I can do shows here, um, like the live streams and other things that I'm going to do. Okay, and by the way, a mobile studio could be helpful in interviewing some different people now and then. And so pray about that, and whether maybe you'd like to donate your RV that you're not using anymore. Maybe you'd like to donate it to Protestant Spotlight. And you can tell people, hey, Protestant Spotlight's on. Did you know that was my RV that studio's in? And okay, we'd love to talk to you about it. Maybe you owe a little more money on the RV you're paying off. Maybe you say, Brother Good, if you'll pay this thing off, you guys can have it. I'd be happy to talk to you about that, unless you owe $100,000 or something. But okay, anyway, pray about it, think about it, and comment here, or message me if you'd like to talk to me about the RV thing, or anything else. Just message me. Comment on the topic for tonight if you would. We'd love to hear your thinking on this. I'm not saying that that's what's coming. I'm just saying, hey, this has all the makings of a civil war. This would remind you of what happened in 1861. I mean, all of a sudden the country split in half, and 25 states are ready to rebel against the federal government, against the Supreme Court. By the way, Mr. Obama's been Mr. Obama. Well, yeah, it is Mr. Obama. He's running the country, but Biden has been disobeying the Supreme Court on a lot of things. For one thing, the federal loan payment thing, student loans. The Supreme Court said he could not do that, and he's doing it anyway. He just went around another way. So, hey, what's good for them is good for us, right? Only we're in the right. We're in the right. And all right. Well, God bless, and remember, no matter what happens, keep your eyes on them skies.